I'm delighted to be here. So my name's Austin Dempsey. I'm the CEO of BEI Holdings, which is a holding company primarily focused around commercial real estate. We do commercial real estate development. We are landlord owned and managed properties. We have a self-storage company, multifamily business. Pretty much anything in real estate in the western suburbs of Chicago is what we do. I went to high school, I'll start there, at an all-boys Catholic military school in Aurora called Marmion Military Academy, which was a really incredible experience. College, Butler University. It wasn't where I wanted to go, but it's where I got the biggest scholarship, and hey, college was expensive, so I took it. My dad imparted with me a very solid work ethic that has just stayed with me my entire life, which has been great. So when I was in high school, I worked any job I could. I worked construction jobs, I worked factory jobs, I inflated basketballs and packed into boxes to send out. I do side jobs here or there. I owned my own landscaping company for a short period of time. But really what I did after college is I started buying homes, and every couple of years I'd buy a new home and move to the next home, and it was fixer-upper, and I did that 4 or 5 times in a row and sold that and parlayed that into the next entrepreneurial project. How I got to this role today is I was part of a company that went public back in the early 2000s, and that company, we had a great rise through 2006. We sold the business, and in 2007 I joined the company that I'm at today and bought the company from there.
What kind of business were you in before this?
It was commercial real estate as well. So we were developers of retail shopping centers all across America. So I'm the guy that brought lots of retail to every community's doorstep in the Midwest. We would build from Lincoln, Nebraska to Grand Rapids, Michigan to Chicago to you name it, any place kind of in the Midwest, as far down to Texas. I was involved in building community, neighborhood, and regional power shopping centers. Oh, there's many. The challenge is every day is a new opportunity to overcome something different. And I truly just have a personal belief that every day the good Lord gives you is another day to try to do better. So some of the early challenges in my career were certainly getting people to understand that someone at my age at that point in time was attempting to do what we were trying to do, and convince communities that we were going to bring something that would bring a tremendous amount of economic development to their community, to create jobs, infrastructure, sales tax, and the early days were really fun because it gave me an opportunity to go and present to city councils and talk with mayors and economic development folks and bring private and publicly traded equity into a community to build something that would be an asset for their community. My advice is always stay true to yourself. At the end of the day, no matter what business you're in, you want to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of what you see. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're never compromising who you are as a person. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't always the profitable thing, but in the long run, the right thing is always what you should be doing, because it builds your credibility and your reputation, and it can take years and years and years to build that, and just one bad decision to cast that aside. So my advice is, find good mentors, find people who are important to you in something that you're passionate about, and make sure you stay true to yourself in every situation. That's a great question. So I'm very lucky. Probably my largest mentor in life was my dad. I had a great relationship with my dad until he fell ill. And he was always there for me, which was something that was truly amazing. But in addition to that, I have been able to latch on to really some dynamite industry mentors, people who at different times in my life were in the right place at the right time. And to the young people, I would say, ask someone who you respect in your industry, ask them to be a mentor. Oftentimes, people are blown away by the ask. I now get asked to be a mentor And it is such a truly amazing thing when someone young in the industry asks for me to be a mentor, which is truly amazing. So don't be afraid to ask, but understand that that ask comes with certain amount of requirements that come to the table, right? You can't just say, hey, can you be a mentor, and then not put anything into that relationship. If you're asking someone to be a mentor, you need to make sure you come to the table with exactly what you're looking for, exactly how much time it's going to take, and really help the person that you're asking to be a mentor, really help them curate their time to be productive for you. I'm delighted to be part of the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley. You know, it's such an amazing story. 6 guys got together in a room 76 years ago and put $500 together. And the power of compounding interest, one of the wonders of the world. Today, it's a $150 million foundation that is on track to give out $3.2 million of scholarships to local area, Kane County area people who are going to seek higher education. It gives out millions of dollars of grants to support local non-for-profits. And how did I get involved with that? I respected the members of that board, and I wanted to learn more about what that organization was and what they were doing, because an organization like that really makes a difference in the community. And that directly aligns with who we are as an organization here at BEI, and what my personal philosophy is with managing my team and managing our companies. At the end of the day, a healthy tide rises all boats in a community. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, your greatest asset is your people. And the people who work here, I tell them all the time, you know, my role in this organization is to create a solid vision and to hire the absolute best people and empower them to be successful in what they do. And I encourage everybody every single person in our company to go out and be involved and do something to make their community a better place. Because it doesn't really matter what happens at Washington or in LA or in any part of the coast. If your community is not a good place, it has a negative impact on you. And so where we can make the biggest impact is by getting out and making our community better. And if it has a web effect. If everybody goes out and does one thing in their community, it goes a very long way. And so that's how I got involved with the Community Foundation, because I was out there working into the community, working with different non-for-profits. I created a few non-for-profits where I saw there was a gap in services that could be provided. And that led me to an introduction to that organization, which led me to 11 years with that board and a few years as chairman of that organization, and really had an opportunity to help impact the giving that happens and the dot connecting within the community. We started the Fox Valley Entrepreneurship Center in 2009, and in 2007, when I started purchasing this company, right before the Great Recession began, you know, I quickly found myself in a situation where I had a number of my clients who were great, in some cases, multi-generational family businesses that had run into just an economic buzzsaw. And here I am with a degree and a master's degree in business, and I said, hey, you know, I can probably help you with your business. And so some of my clients would allow me to take a little bit of a deeper dive into their books. And what I found is that a lot of these businesses that were really struggling in the Great Recession were struggling because of some small things that could get corrected. And so I'm watching the President of the United States, President Barack Obama, in one of the State of the Union addresses, and he was talking about funding the SBA to create grants to help small businesses in Main Street America. And I remember hollering to my wife in the other room, hey honey, have you ever applied for a grant before? And she said, no, I've never done it. And I said, well, I'm listening to the President, and I think I'm going to apply for one of these grants. And I remember her saying, yeah, good luck with that. Well, here we are, you know, 15 years later, we got the grant until the money ran out. And then we privately funded it with donations and other private foundations. And we've helped over 150 companies locally be successful, really as a catalyst agent to help them grow and create jobs and strengthen the communities. We've saved and retained hundreds of jobs. We've created tens of millions of dollars of economic impact. And it was all because, when the economy needed it, we were able to get enough good people together to rally behind trying to do something that made a difference. And the one thing that I've always found about business owners, every successful business owner shares two things. Number one, they all like to win. And number two, they never have enough time. So what we did with the Fox Valley Entrepreneurship Center is in 180 days, we put a catalyst agent in the business to help them actually implement the plan that we put together. So we taught the business owner and we came up with a plan on how to win, and then we put somebody in the business 2 days a week to help them drive success, and the results have been staggering. Yeah, absolutely. And what the world needs now is the world does not need more leaders who seek power. The world needs more leaders who seek to serve. And in that sense, serving the people that you work for, that you work with, serving the community gives you such an opportunity to come at leadership in a totally different way that is so much more approachable towards aligning people in the same direction. It can be powerful if you can get everybody on the boat pulling and rowing in the same direction. And what happens so frequently is people just don't. We live in a day and age where, the person that screams the loudest gets the most attention. That's not how life works. Following social media, being on all those social media channels, all that's great to keep up with the Joneses. But the reality of it is, what the world needs is the world needs more people to make a difference. Oh, there's probably a lot I would have done different, but I've joked around before that if the today me could go back in time and tell the 18-year-old me what to do, I still don't know if the 18-year-old me would have listened. So I joke around because, to be honest with you, adversity and challenge, that forges the strongest steel, And I think you need to have those struggles. You need to have that adversity and that challenge. And I think that's one of the differentiators of the people out there who are really fighting every day to make not only their business more successful, but their community more successful, is because they've been through those challenges, they've climbed that mountain, and they continue to climb it because they know it's worth it. And bringing everybody together at the same time and making a difference in the community that they live and work in, it's a beautiful thing.